This tutorial was requested by Angel Mario Bros and Crazy Inigo YT. If you want to request a tutorial, leave a comment down below, and remember to like, subscribe with notifications, and to check out all my other videos. Now, onto the tutorial. Hey guys, Blop here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a Rosalina plush. I'd say the difficulty for this tutorial is 3.5 stars out of 5. Now, onto the materials. The materials you will need are yellow fabric, blue fabric, gray fabric, white fabric, light blue fabric, and cream fabric. You're gonna need patterns part 1, part 2, and part 3, pins and needles, tape, and thread. You're also gonna need a blue Sharpie and a red Sharpie. First, cut out part 1 of your plush pattern. When cutting out the foot and sole pieces, you should only have these. These should be all the pieces you will have. Now, take your neck piece and one of your back head pieces. Now, take your back head piece and align its curved edge on the curved edge of the neck, making sure that the straight edge is facing the front. Then, you're going to stitch it on along that edge. Do this for the other head piece. This will be the end result. Make sure that you left a small hole in the back of the head pieces, so then you can flip it inside out once you're finished. Now, take your face piece and center it on the big hole on the front. Now, stitch it all the way around. This will be the head. Make sure that you have it bad side out. Now, to sew up your arms, what you're going to do is fold them over long ways and stitch along this straight edge. You're going to do the same thing for the legs. These will be the arms and legs. For the hands, what you're going to do is take 2 of them and place them on top of each other, then stitch them all the way around the curved edges. Do not stitch up the bottom. This will be a finished hand. Now you're going to make sure that you have it right side out and stuff it into your arm, making sure that the thumb is facing away from this stitch on the arm. Once your hand is in the arm like this, you can go ahead and stitch it in. Once you've done that, stuff your arm and you can set it to the side. Now, take your foot and heel pieces and align them along the straight edge and stitch it on that edge. Then, take the straight edges of the heels and stitch them up to the point of the foot. After you've done that, stitch up this back edge and then do the same with the front edge. Do not stitch up the bottom. Now, once you have finished stitching those 2 darts, you're going to take your sole piece and stitch it onto the bottom of your shoe. The finished result will look like this. Make sure you've left a hole so that you can flip it inside out and stuff it. Once your shoe is sewn up and stuffed, it'll look like this. Now, take your stuffed leg and your shoe and place it onto the straight edge of your foot piece, making sure that the stitch of the leg is facing the back. Then you are going to ladder stitch it on. This will be the finished leg. To make the body, first what you're going to do is take your body and shirt piece and sew them along this long edge. After both pieces are sewn together, fold them over and stitch them along this straight edge on the back. After you have sewn up the body, what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your legs and stuff it up the body like this. Make sure to do this with both legs. Whenever stuffing them in, make sure that the open holes on the legs reach to the bottom part of the body. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your legs and push them against the front of the body piece. Then you're going to stitch them along that edge. Once you have sewn on your legs, you will have a stitch along the front of the body piece. Then you will stitch on your bottom piece onto the body, all the way around. Now once the body is done, it will look like this. Make sure you haven't stuffed it. Now, open up the hole on the chin piece that you've sewn onto your face. Once you have that open, you are going to stuff your legs into the head, making sure that you have them come out of the back hole that you left in the back head pieces. Make sure that you line up the top of the body piece with the neck hole piece. Once you have both of those pieces aligned, you can go ahead and stitch them together. Now that the body and head are sewn together, what you're going to do is flip them right side out through the hole that you left on the back head pieces. This will be your sewn up and stuffed body. For the arms, simply sew up the open seams, then sew them between the shirt and body pieces. First, glue the yellow circle into the middle of the star. Next, glue the sleeves onto your body, making sure that their points connect in the middle of the front, then glue the star over them. After you have done that, you're going to take your cuffs and glue them around the seam between your arms and hands. Now once you've glued the cuffs on, you're going to take your crown piece and fold it over itself, making sure that the back edges meet. Then, you're going to sew it together along that straight edge. This will be the crown. Now, take a blue and red Sharpie and draw on 2 red spots and 2 blue spots, making sure that the same colored spots are facing away from each other and not together. This is what the crown will look like. Now, set it to the side. Now, take your dress and skirt pieces and sew the skirt piece onto your dress piece on this inside edge. Once you've attached the skirt, take one dress lining piece and place it like this. Then, you are going to glue it on top of the dress and skirt pieces. Once you've attached the skirt, sew up the 2 darts on the top of the dress. Once you have sewn up the darts, you should have repeated both steps for the dress pieces. Then you will place them on top of each other and stitch them along from this top corner all the way to this bottom corner. Now that you've sewn up the dress, you can flip it right side out. Once you've flipped it right side out, it will look like this. Now, take the base of your plush and stuff the legs into the top hole of the dress. Make sure that the legs stick out from the bottom. Rosalina's dress comes out higher than the other princesses, so you're going to want to align it about here, then ladder stitch it on all the way around. Now that the dress is sewn on, it will look like this. Now take 2 earpieces and sew them together along the curved edge, not the straight edge. Once you've sewn up your ear, you're going to place it onto the seam between the back headpiece and the face piece, then stitch it on. This is how it will look. Now cut out part 3 of your pattern. The eye on this plush pattern is a little different than the others though. For this one, you can cut out a felt eye, or rather you can take tape and put tape over the eye and then cut it out. I'll show you how to do that now. These are all of the pieces you should have. First, take your 2 long hair pieces and stitch them together, leaving this straight edge open. This is how the finished hair piece will look. Now, you're going to take both of these pieces and align them like this. Then you will stitch them along this edge, making sure that you don't stitch them along this top edge. You're also going to sew up the darts. This is how the sewn up and stuffed back hair piece will look. Now, take your hair piece and place it onto the back of Rosalina's head like this. Then stitch it along that edge. To sew on the back hair, you're going to place it onto Rosalina's head like a helmet, making sure that the dart stitches align with the top of the ears. Next, align the top of the back hair pieces to the top of the back head pieces, and stitch along that edge. Then stitch from one dart all the way around back to the other dart. This is how the sewn on back hair will look. Now, stitch all the way around the front hair piece and the side hair piece. The finished pieces will look like this. Make sure that they're facing this direction or your plush will be ruined. Now, pinch the front of the front hair piece, take your scissors and cut a hole in the front of it. This is why it's important that both pieces are facing towards you. Do the same for the side hair piece. After you've cut the hole, flip them right side out and stuff them. After you've done that, you should sew both pieces together along this edge of the side hair piece. Then it'll look like this. Now, take both hair pieces and ladder stitch them onto Rosalina's face. Make sure that none of the skin on the top of her head shows. Now that her hair is sewn on like this, you should cut out 2 thin strips of yellow that look like this. Then place them over the ears and glue them on. Now that you've glued those on, you should glue on the earrings. Now carefully position your face onto the face piece. Then you can glue all 3 pieces on. Once you have glued her face on, take your crown and position it onto her head. Then you'll do 1 stitch on the front between the crown and the hair, and then 1 stitch on the back between the crown and the hair. You can also do these stitches on the side. Now that her crown is sewn on, your plush is finished. Here's a comparison between my new Rosalina and my old Rosalina. The old one is on the right and the new one is on the left. If you made this plush or are planning to, comment down below. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe with notifications, and to tell me what character I should make next. Don't forget to check out my other plush tutorials and plush videos. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys next time. These scissors are fucking shit. I hate them.